Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another video here on Starseed Academy. My name is Jenny. Thank you so much for joining me for another video on this channel. So today, oh my God, I'm so excited about today's video. You know how this all started is I actually found myself last night scrolling because Gaia was having a moment and I couldn't sleep because of the Schumann resonance. So I found myself like scrolling back through a lot of my older stuff, older reels, older videos, and really seeing the growth that's taken place for me and just like appreciating that, right? Because sometimes we take for granted how much we've grown and how our understanding has deepened. And so from that inspiration, I really saw myself in those videos deepening in my understanding of what it meant to be a starseed on a mission on Earth. And it was deepening in my understanding of what ascension was and how things like the Schumann resonance and solar flares all play a part in that, and what the collective consciousness is and what the matrix is, and really what oneness is. And that's an ongoing journey, the oneness thing. And seeing myself healing in those videos too through my childhood stuff and past life stuff. And it was just really inspirational. And I'm so glad that I leave up all of my old videos, even when they're cringe, because I can look back and so can others and see the growth. And plus, there's always somebody at that stage that needs that video anyway. You know what I mean? Like we're all at different phases. This is just a long intro to say today, when I had nothing planned for today's video and I just wanted it to follow the path of the continued deepening of the understandings. And so I just put it out to my guides. I want to create a video that really hits the heart of my audience, but it also makes them go, whoa, like, oh. And I was like, how can I deepen my understanding of this experience I'm having on Earth? And then immediately they showed me this DNA helix. And I was like, okay, like I've talked about that quite a bit, evolution and solar flares, and I've talked about the divine human blueprint quite a bit. How are you taking me deeper into that? And they showed me the word crystalline, and I was like, okay, yeah, we've been there. We know crystalline energies, diamond code frequencies, 6D. We know what that is, right? That's when our ascension moves from 5D into 6D, which means it moves from the consciousness into the physical, right? Because we can have an evolution of consciousness, but we can also have an evolution of the literal species of humanity, which is what's happening. And I was like, okay, how do we go deeper into that? And they're like, they just broke down how crystalline upgrades actually work and what they actually are. And I was like, okay, no one's talking about this. No one is talking about this. Everyone is throwing out the words crystalline, diamond codes, me included. Everyone's throwing out these words and talking about the coding. And maybe that's like a first level understanding, and that's where we start. But no one is breaking down what that is. That's a label, but what is it? You can't just say ascension energies. You can't just say crystalline frequency, but what is that exactly, right? So that's what I'm gonna like break down for you today. And it was actually really friggin' cool. Such a big, such a deep download. And I do think that this is gonna continue to deepen. I love that when I hit on something really big and a new understanding comes in, like a new dawning understanding, and then I can take it deeper and deeper and deeper. So amazing. So I want to share that with you today. And right before we jump into this video, I want to do just a little mini announcement saying that my program, Psychic Light, where you learn how to use all of your clairs, you learn how to channel, you learn how to do light language, Akashic records, astral travel, and more, is closing soon. The doors are closing, and I only do this program twice a year. And so it starts February 21st. So there's only a short time to make sure that you get in on this round. It's what allows me to have these incredible downloads. It's what allows me to have such unbelievable clarity in my channeling, in my downloads, in my readings for clients. I use it in my healings. I use it for quantum healing, light language, my readings. Like basically in this course, I will teach you how I do everything in one course, because all you need is the foundations, right? You just need to know how to speak the language of the clairs thoroughly. You need to know how to do clean and ethical channeling, not like whatever other channeling is going on out there, written and spoken. And you need to really understand soul language, which is a version of light language. If you can, and I teach in there, like I said, Akashic records and astral travel. It's the entire spiritual toolkit in one course. You could take 10 courses and maybe still not get the information. And you just go and look at the testimonials on the link. The link is in the description of this video for Psychic Light. The testimonials are ridiculous. Everyone's like, you changed my life. Like, I'm not on the same timeline. Everything has changed. I'm leaving my job. I'm starting my business. Or I get a lot of entrepreneurs already. And they just skyrocket their business to the next level. It's like, okay, no, now I'm creating programs to hold these expanding gifts. I was just doing these few programs or services that I had over and over and over. I'm ready to grow. Like, I'm so confident now. I see now how my own gifts work. Let's go. Like, it's truly just the quantum leap that you've been looking for. And this 2024, this is the year for it. This year it's like such a supportive energy to transformation, following your earth mission and making that bank. Like, it's huge. If you're going to do it, this is the year to do it. And Psychic Light is only open twice a year. So this is the first round this year. It is a certified course. You will get a certificate from it as well. If you have any questions about whether this is right for you, please come over to Instagram and DM me or send me an email. And I'll be super honest with you if I think that this is your next step, right? We can even jump on a call for somebody that wants to get a feel for what it's like to work with me. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the video, and I'm so excited for the people that have already signed up for Psychic Light. I can't wait to see you all in class. Our first class is coming so soon. And to those of you that haven't signed up yet or are on the fence, this is your nudge. Okay, don't miss this. This is life-changing. Let's jump into the video, checking the time because I have an interview shortly. All right, so how crystalline upgrades actually work. So I saw this ascended master realm. And of course, Metatron is someone that you guys know I work with a lot. But beside him was this thunderbird of light, whom I've seen literally like in my room. I have this, it's here on this channel, but I can't remember what video it is, but I have it as a reel on Instagram where this like bird of light literally flew down and like right on camera, you can see it. It's crazy. And I know that this is the thunderbird that's showing up. I think this is one of my guides that is really advanced that I'm going to be working with. So the first thing that they showed me was crystalline equals a wavelength. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean if it's a wavelength? Because how is that different than just saying the love frequency, right? Because we could just say, oh, the love frequency, those really high frequencies, what makes crystalline a different kind of wavelength? And they said it's the oneness frequency, grounded into a physical form. And I was like, okay, go deeper into that. So it's the oneness frequency, the one soul. You know how God's source is the source of all of our souls. So we are all individuated pieces of that one main soul, which means that if God's source is the color, let's go with gold. If God's source is a golden energy of consciousness, very, very intelligent consciousness, and we individuate from that, as in little pieces come off of that, we're gold as well. That's the beginning of your soul journey. But then as you have lifetimes and incarnations and all of that, you develop these layers over your soul that are different colors. Like, okay, well, I had an angelic lifetime. Now I've got a silver layer. And then I did this and I've got a blue layer and a purple layer and other colors that the human eyes can't see. And it's not just about color, it's soul memories. Each layer on your soul represents an entire lifetime of all the memories of that lifetime, including the lessons, including the frequencies, including the emotions, including memories. It's beautiful, right? So that oneness frequency is inside of all of us at our core. And so crystalline equals the wavelength of the one soul. So we're going back to our origination point. Okay, this is where we started. And this is when we meditate, this is what we plug into each time. And we're like batteries plugging back into like the charger, right? Like rechargeable batteries, and it fills us back up again, the one soul. So crystalline equals the wavelength of either the oneness frequency or the one soul, the all, the I am. And it's not just the one soul when it comes to humans. It's also in the animal kingdom, in every soul. And it's also in plants, because anything that hosts life force, even if you don't think that plants are sentient and have a soul, which maybe they don't, but they do have life force running through them, and they do have an intelligence, that is still the one soul. It's still that gold, if we're going to stick with a color, right? If you were able to see the one soul frequency, and you looked at the world, my ear won't stop popping, oh my God, and you looked at the world, you would see it in everything that has a consciousness in it. So everything organic. So the animal kingdom, the nature kingdom, and the human kingdom. Not anything man-made, like, or built. Okay, so you'd see these veins of gold running through the trees and the plants. You'd see it as an orb of light inside each human in their high heart, and you see it in animals in that same way. Okay, that's the all, that's the I am frequency. Okay, so how do we ground the frequency of the one soul into physical form? Because if we just have it in as energy, then we're still in the 5D ascension, because 5D ascension is about the upgrade of intangible energy, right? Stuff that's not physical, consciousness, emotions, frequency, all of that. So how do we ground it to make it physical? Okay, so that is where we start to really understand what crystalline upgrades are. So they are grounded into physical form through sacred geometry. That's how. And I was like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I just knew that it was true. And then what they showed me to back it up was they showed me how the scientific test that they did on these different glasses of water, where they spoke love and oneness into one glass, like we are all one, we are love, I love you, you are me, I am you. And then the other glass, they're like, I hate you, you're nothing, whatever. And then they freeze the water. And this water, where it was negative vibrations being spoken into it, because your words are very powerful, it was all look like a nightmare, like cracked ice, like when they put it under a microscope, it was like a nightmareville, and nothing was in harmony, and it was all broken. And when they looked at the frozen water under a microscope, I think they froze it, that had all the love spoken into it, it was like sacred geometry. It looked like snowflakes, and they were all like symmetrical and had all this harmony to them. So they showed me that after they said that thing about sacred geometry. And then they showed me plants. They said naturally plants have this crystalline frequency in them already, and it is already grounded into a physical form in them already, because they're pure, right? Like if they're pure, plants and animals are pure, they're untouched, the way that humans have been like, what's the word, like fallen from grace a little bit, right? So when you look at plants, what is their sacred geometry? They have the Fibonacci spiral often. You'll see this in the nature kingdom. You'll see this in the animal kingdom. You know, the Fibonacci spiral. You'll see that sometimes obviously and often under microscope. And another one that is proof of that is the flower of life, is all throughout plants as well. That flower of life DNA. That Fibonacci spiral. So if you've seen sacred geometry or you haven't, go research the flower of life and what it looks like, the Fibonacci spiral. Okay, so then they showed me in a human how if we were in our original states, we would be filled with different sacred geometries, not all one kind, all different kinds, right? Like the flower of life and Metatron's cube, and I don't know all the names of all the different sacred geometric symbols, but all of the ones that are harmonious, they're like the perfect mathematical equations. It's like crazy that nature could create something so perfect. Every angle is exact. Everything is like, when they break it down mathematically, it's like perfect. Like an artist could never recreate it. It would have to be recreated through like a lot of work and effort, like using math and skill and all of that. So they said to me, humans originally had this in them, and we've moved away from that and become very like distorted. And that's where disease comes in. And that's where emotional and mental illness comes in as well. And that's where depression, all those things come from, right? And so, they called this sacred geometry spread out throughout the human body our inner garden, which is so beautiful. They're like, tend to your inner garden. And then they showed me all this sacred geometry inside of a human body, in our organs, in our DNA, in our cells, in everything. And they said the inner garden inside of your DNA constructs of sacred geometric arrangements are coding that gives the body orders to return to the divine human blueprint. What? That was like the craziest, deepest thing. It's like our inner garden, which is the sacred geometry spread throughout our bodies and on all levels, which is what a crystalline upgrade is. Okay, it's the oneness frequency grounded into physical form through sacred geometry. That's how it can become physical. That's how it can like build on your physical body, or make changes to your physical body and evolve your physical body. That's how it does it. It goes into your body and it arranges things back to their harmonious. Like if you had a cell, like a cancerous cell, let's just use that as an example, that was all distorted and looked like the nightmare glass of water, then a crystalline upgrade that comes down would go there and move the pieces back into harmony, and it would suddenly look like that sacred geometry again, whatever version of that it was. So our inner garden, which is as deep as our DNA constructs, but can be bigger and more obvious than that too, our inner garden of sacred geometric arrangements is coding that gives the body orders to return to the divine human blueprint. Boom. Like that's so huge. And then I asked, okay, what does that mean? Let's just make sure we're really grounding this into like a very simple understanding so everyone can understand this. And they said the divine human blueprint looks like a human on the inside, like your health, being stable, resilient, healthy, experiencing inner peace and calm, because that's your natural state as well, being patient, seeing the good. And it also radiates an aura. Okay, if a body has had crystalline upgrades and is moving back into the divine human blueprint, the aura changes. And suddenly the aura that you are radiating is not only stronger and more like, again, resilient, I guess, strong and resilient and like thick and hardy, but it's also an aura that radiates evolution. It becomes an aura of evolution so that everything or everyone that passes through it, or that you spend time with, or that experiences your presence, your aura, starts to shift and evolve as well. And this is how New Earth is born, right? Physical New Earth, not just an idea of New Earth, physical New Earth. New Earth it starts on the inside of an individual, one person at a time, just like ascension or an awakening does. You want to have a giant wave of awakening, like global scale, it's still one person at a time. And it goes like a flame across. These crystalline upgrades, the divine human blueprint, the making it a physical shift, like human species evolving physically, okay? Real physical body. It has to happen one person at a time as well. I mean, it can happen many people at once, but I just mean it's an individual mission first, right? It's an individual thing first. And then when a bunch of people like experience that, then it starts to spread across the collective, and we can use our beautiful aura of evolution, and we can teach on it in videos like this. We can do our spiritual work, and we can help it along. So the new earth is born inside one person at a time, individually, and then we create it. So New Earth is not another planet. Okay, whatever you've been hearing about this ridiculous, ungrounded information, you will not be picked up by a spaceship and flown to another planet called 5D. That's not it. 5D is not a place that you journey to outside of yourself. Okay, and I just want to say 5D is also old news because this is 6D that we're talking about right now, but it doesn't matter. We all know what it means, right? It's not somewhere you journey to outside of yourself. So you're not going to get left behind, and neither will your family. It's a measurement of growth that you have accomplished within and experienced within. It's a measure of healing. It's a measure of upgrades. It's a measure of awakening, self-awareness. It's inside. That new earth, that 5D, that 6D, whatever you want to call it, it's in you. And then that motivates you, your thoughts and your actions to, in your corner of the world, make it that better place, right? You create the world that you want to live in through following your earth mission, by the way, like your spiritual or your starseed mission, whatever, just like what I'm doing, right? Doing the work in service to using my soul gifts in service to others creates that new earth, right? So if you're doing that, you're doing the work. And again, like psychic light, master your gifts to another level, okay? If you're not seeing the momentum in your business, you need to create it inside first. And I can get you there in 4 months. It's crazy. It's crazy what can happen in such a short period of time in that container. So that's it. It's like we radiate this aura of evolution once we've had this inner garden of sacred geometry, like that comes back because the crystalline frequency comes down as non-physical, and then it anchors itself into us by creating sacred geometric patterns throughout the body and living in them, right? And then it becomes physical, and then we evolve. And yes, solar flares are a huge part of this, but they're not the only part. A really huge part is your own self-awareness. Like, what is a spiritual awakening if not just self-awareness? Like, we can even simplify what that is. Well, what is an awakening? It's waking up. It's awareness. It's just self-awareness. So just you can work on that easily, right? Okay. Is there anything that I haven't covered? Like, that was so many, like that was a lot of drops of information. And I just love this new understanding that crystalline equals a wavelength, the oneness frequency, the one soul, but grounded into physical form through sacred geometry. And that's how our original state was in our bodies. And the distortion happened through the lower frequencies, especially fear frequency, and the contamination on this planet through the food and the sky and the water. And everything gets distorted in our bodies, and it's no longer in harmony, and we experience disease and a shortened lifespan and mental troubles like emotional illnesses and outward things like war and all of these things. And to bring everyone back into harmony with oneness and love frequency, it's this sacred geometry moving its way through the body again. And so you have to be able to house that and accept that, right? And that's where you really need to do the inner work, the shadow work. Start with your childhood. We always start there. Heal your inner child. That will naturally move you into healing past lives. You'll start to slough off, purge out the heaviness, and there'll be more room for light in your body. You have to make room inside of yourself for this because it's a very high frequency. So it takes up a lot of space. Make space. Where can you make space in your body right now so that this can come to you and start rearranging your literal cellular constructs back to their harmonious patterns? Oh my God, I just love this. This was so cool. So I'm going to stop talking because I've said it all a million times now. I just feel like this is a deeper understanding about what everyone's been talking about. And I'm so grateful to have received that and to be able to bring it through, because I love keeping this stuff really grounded, right? I don't like the woo-woo, like making everything so ridiculous and complicated. And I've started unfollowing people that are like that because it's too much. I want to make it like so accessible for everyone, because I think that the most wise people that have ever walked this planet, like Jesus and Buddha and all the ascended masters, were successful because they simplified everything and they spoke to people on their level and they never put themselves above anyone. And I think that that's really important to remember. So that's my mission. Okay, tell me what you thought. This was really cool and really different, right? Tell me what you thought. Did you have any breakthrough aha moments with this? I certainly did, and I can't wait to read your comments. And then one last time before we sign off, if you're questioning psychic light, first of all, there's extended payment plans. So if you're worried about like the investment, it's really affordable monthly payments. And if the other thing is, if you're just worried about, is this for me or not? Should I take this leap or not? Should I commit to this 4 month? Like it's a big chunk to bite off, right? Then I would ask yourself, are you really happy in your life? Do you really feel like you're on your path? Do you really feel like you are as potent as you could be with your gifts? Do you think there's more gifts that are looking to come online that you haven't accessed yet? And do you think that the gifts that you do have now could grow and go to a new level? Because they can. Even in me, they always can. You can. There's always another level to attain, isn't there? With our gifts and with our understanding and with what we're able to do. And the more potent you are, the more momentum you will create in your life, in your business, in your mission, okay? Which equals, abundance and freedom and fulfillment because you're helping so many people. And you can just look at Starseed Academy as the perfect example of that. Literally in the last, I don't even know, like I was going to say 6 months, but every month feels like there's a new push behind it. Like it's just blowing up. Like it's like there's so many places that I'm being interviewed and there's so many new people finding me, and it's being reflected in the finances, and it's being reflected in the follower counts, and it's being reflected in what I'm offering. Just keep offering like videos like this, but also like my programs. I've got so many programs, like mini, mid, and bigger programs that are coming to you in 2024. I started writing a book. Like it's evident that there is something going on, right? And I want to take everybody with me on the train of this earth mission. It's not that complicated to achieve a life like this. Discover your soul gifts, master your gifts. Start offering your gifts in service to others. Build your empire, your offer suite, and your programs, right? So I would love to help you in whatever state you're at with that. If you feel like you're good on gifts, like, oh no, girl, like they are mastered, then it's time to build your empire, which is CEO of Light, which is another program of mine. And if you have questions about any of this, just reach out, okay? I'm here for you. I want to take you with me along on this crazy journey we call Earth life. It's just insane, but it's really beautiful too. Okay, I'm gonna go. I've got an interview. Gonna be talking all about, in 15 minutes, I'm gonna be talking all about awakened kids. I'm so excited. That's something new that I ventured into in 2024, helping awaken kids and their parents and really supporting them on their journey and helping them to learn how to protect themselves, use their gifts too. You can't start too young. So I'm gonna go talk all about that for about an hour. And I just wanted to say before I go, please remember, listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. I love you, beautiful starseed. Have a great day. Bye.